So we are used to taking some pretty huge risk on this channel, and this is no different. And that's because if we can't get this bike started in this episode, we are going to have to completely rewrite our build plans. So fingers crossed. So one of my biggest concerns is actually this tank, because the tank's got a little bit of damage up the top, and that's okay, I can live with that. But just here on the actual fuel line, like this to me feels like petrol, and it shouldn't be there. So I need to figure out why this has actually had some form of fuel just here. So before I do anything, actually I'll smell it, it smells like petrol. So it's like a mixture of petrol and oil. So I'm gonna have to take the tank off as well, which means whilst I've got the tank off, I can do something else, and it's just going to be a Tetris game to put this thing back together. Okay, so whilst I'm playing around in the front area here, I'm also going to install my AIS delete, because I can get nice, easy access to the top of the front cylinder there to get the cover off. So that came off super simple, and now I can put the Smart Moto, I can put the Smart Moto cover on there, just a nice little CNC alloy piece, and that will get rid of my AIS, which is a secondary air system. So another job done. I wouldn't be able to do it if the radiator was on. So 2 birds, 1 stone. So the radiator is loosely on. I've got a couple of bolts holding it in place, and then just the pipes on the other side at the top. I can't do anything more than this at the moment because it's 2 weeks until our new shroud gets here. This here, the big replacement piece that holds all the radiator and everything in place. So for now, I don't want to run it without coolant in place. So I'm just going to hope and pray that this actually works. So I figure whilst I'm working in this area, I might as well safety tie this up. So we'll do a little bit of lock tightening. Okay, so something else small that I do is I pre-drill my oil bung as well, so I don't have to buy a super expensive one, and that way I can just lock wire it onto the frame. So, in with the new oil, 300V, best to the best for the V4S, best to the best for the V4S. Oh my God, I'm a nerd. Anyway, let's chuck this in. We're probably gonna put the whole amount of this in. Could take a while to get in there. Oh. I can smell quite a lot of fuel in here, so there is definitely fuel somewhere. But that feels dry. It's just these sections which are wet. So maybe when the bike was leaned over on its side, maybe it got oil or something, because the top of the engine is clean, perfectly clean. That's exactly what we want to hear. Okay, let's take this off. And the fuel tank itself looks like there's absolutely no damage. I've just saved another $1,500 because that's what it would have cost me to get another tank. Probably even more, probably $2 grand to get one in Australia. Just need to fix that dent. Job done. Okay, so check this out. That is super, super clean. Doesn't look like there's anything wrong. This is the rear cylinder AIS. So we're gonna take that off, and we've got our second face cover kit for that. That's gonna go on there. And then there's a little black plug. You can see that little black plug just there. When we take this off, there's a plug, an electrical plug to cancel that. And then this is the back of the airbox. We just push that little black plug into the hole, and that seals the back of the airbox. We can pull this tube all the way through, and that will come out. Oh, it might be a little bit easier said than done, but this is the one attached to the front of the header, and we'll be able to pull that all the way out, and that will come out as well. And that way, AIS delete's done. It looks like the tank's fine, it can go back on. We'll put the new battery on, just the cheapie that we bought, and then fuel and trying to start it.
So now I've got this switch block left over from my original V4. However, have a look at that. Look how damaged this is. I'm pretty sure this one is the switch gear, but even that is not looking too healthy. So hopefully it fits inside this. And I think these two are probably throttle and brake switches. I really don't know which one's which. So fingers crossed. Okay, so we'll plug the dash back in. Just let it sit there. Really hope we don't have the same thing that happened with the RSV4 where it just didn't work, because this dash is super expensive. So, okay, so this is the first moment of truth, is do we have power? Oh, we've got a red flashing light on the dash. I don't know what that means. We've got a new battery. We've checked everything. I haven't got any fuel in it yet, so this is not the first start. Let's just check. Oh, the fuel pump's working. And yes, the gauges are fine. Oh, brilliant. That saved us like, what are these? What's a dash on one of these? Close to 2 grand, probably? Okay, so total K is 6960. So that's pretty low. Not even 7,000 Ks on this bike. Pretty good. Yeah, it's got a few warning lights coming on. That's okay, we can fix that. I can't even turn off half these things because the switchgear on the left-hand side is completely ruined. So, the good thing was it primed. So the fuel tank primed. Let's turn it off, put some fuel in it, and try a first start. Okay, slight delay. I just found a leak. As soon as the engine primed, as soon as the actual fuel tank primed, it started spurting fuel out of here. So I just replaced that clip. Now, fingers crossed we won't see the same problem again. So I'll just turn it on, try and prime it, and see if we see anything coming out of here. Nothing yet, that's good. I did end up with fuel just quite literally everywhere and scared the shit out of me. I was like, crap, man, what am I? Blow my new bike up. Well, my new old bike. But I think that's all right. I'll just try and prime it again. You can see that expand as it primes. Like, I'm wondering if that's even holding properly or if that's normal. Do it again. I think it might just be filling up the system. Right, well, we've got no more leaks, so fingers crossed we don't blow ourselves and the bike up in the process. Not leaking, I think we're safe. You got your hands and fingers and everything crossed. I really hope this works because we don't even have a throttle attached, so it might not work. Okay, it's got to be in neutral. Okay, we're in neutral. Here goes nothing. Ooh, there was a bit of a fire there. I don't know what that was. Did you? And we've got a bit of smoke coming from somewhere. Ooh. Where was that smoke coming from? Is it just the fuel burning off the engine, I think maybe? Let's try it again. It's got a definite, I don't know, it's like a backfire or something. Can you hear that? I'll try it again. There's a lot of, I think, oil and fuel vapor just smoking out of this thing. I don't want to do it too long. We know the engine runs. I think now we should clean this whole thing down, because that's probably the reason it's smoking, is all of this oil and crap on the side of the engine. It actually sounds okay. It sounds like it's running fine. It's got massive errors on the screen. So I've got DTC errors, I've got heaps of stuff coming up. So that's all gonna have to be cleared and fixed. But, ladies and gentlemen, we have a build. So, engine runs, that was my biggest concern. The biggest risk about this build was, will the engine run? And damn, that pipe sounds awesome. That pipe sounds wicked. I've never actually had a bike with a full acro system on it, so damn, that is loud, man. That's a loud bike. So heart's racing. So next up, we're going to clean the bike down a bit, because it is just filthy. And again, like, just get rid of all of that gunk, and that's what's smoking. So actually, you know what? There's still bits of trees in there. That's probably what's burning as well. That looks like it's actually fixed itself, so there's no more leak there. And now we can actually start looking at some parts. So we've got a quick release sprocket, a new sprocket, 43 teeth sprocket. We've got a whole bunch of CNC Racing gear, including some gear for the back here. So all of this, bad camera work. So all of this is going to be replaced. So let's clean the bike and then get the rear hub replaced. Yes, baby. Some days work out perfect, days like today, not so much. I've just tried for 30 minutes to try and get this rear wheel nut off so that we could do the sprocket, the quick change adapter, the CNC one. It's beautiful. We're gonna do that in the next episode now. For now, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna switch out these old rear sets. I've just got some OEM ones off my old V4 in this box. So this will just hold us over until our new rear sets arrive for this bike. Best part about the bike starting is now we can go ahead with the build, we can purchase things. I've already been on the phone today, we've got some awesome stuff coming for this bike. So I don't think the Olin steering damper can be saved. This is actually the plug that's supposed to go into the back of it to make it electronic. And that is completely smashed. So I can't go ahead and order a YSS damper until I check with my suspension guy to see whether or not I need to bypass the electronic plug on this or not. Surely it can't be too hard. We've just had some parts arrive from Cube Moto from the Gold Coast, Australia. These guys are amazing. At short notice, we got our hands on moto holders
we've got a front frame, a race frame, and one of these, which is the carbon air duct intake. And that will be nicely played into the front end of this bike. Drop a little bit of weight as well, so we don't have to go with the old magnesium front. Let's get it installed. So super easy, it's just 4 bolts in the corner, and then all you gotta do is slide the carbon air tube in the bottom of it. How good does that look? And it's gloss carbon as well. That is beautiful. So it is so noisy in here, and I apologize. The difference with this one compared to the one that's on this bike is that this bike has one of these that actually bolts onto the front subframe just here. Whereas this one here has these extra little fins at the side. Can you see those? And they actually acts as the bottom piece for the fairing. And then on the sides, you got 2 little hole mount points just here and here. So just there and there. And that's what actually mounts it on to the front fairing. Sorry, to the 2 side fairings that come up the side of the bike. So one less part we've actually got to put on. And it just means 4 simple screws hold that in. So I'll probably just mock it up with some tape for now, just so we can see how it looks. And then let's put the screen on and then get this bike half functioning. There we go, massive progress today, and probably the most important, crucial, risky, critical episode of the actual build series, because now we know the bike runs. We've managed to super quickly go and order everything we need for the bike now that we know it runs. We've even started installing some parts, so thanks to Cube Moto, thanks to Race and Road, we've got some really cool stuff happening for this bike. Our sponsors are really coming to the party. So I'm not going to drop too many hints about the design just yet, but let's just say what we've landed on is Italiano Supremo. And drop a comment, drop a like, hit the subscribe button. You know the drill. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Peace out.